Hello again, my chickadees. Game & Chick is back on your screen once again. Before we get started, I would like to give a big thank you to the kind folks over at Ubisoft and Ubisoft Quebec for providing me with a review key to make this review possible. Thank you very much. So with that out of the way, let's mosey! Immortals Fenyx Rising is an open-world action-adventure game developed by Ubisoft Quebec and published by, you guessed it, Ubisoft. Like their previous title, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, released in 2018, Ubisoft Quebec takes us back to the setting of Greek mythology, only this time in a much more lighthearted tone and less serious way. Taking inspiration from other properties of entertainment, such as their own series Assassin's Creed, Nintendo's Breath of the Wild, and even the Naked Gun and Airplane movies serving as inspiration for tone and humor, Ubisoft Quebec attempts to give us something both new and familiar. But does this title live up to being both new and familiar as promised? Or is it like eating a spoonful of Drano?
Sure, it'll clean you out, but it'll leave you hollow inside.
Join me as we find out those answers. So, let's go! Story. The evil titan known as Typhon has come back after his defeat by Zeus and the rest of the gods, and now seeks revenge on those who have wronged him. Upon making his return, Typhon defeats each god and steals their essence, robbing them of their once great glory and sending them to be abandoned alone on the Golden Isle. Now, with all humans turned to stone, only one hero is left to stand up to Typhon and his mythological beasts and save not only the gods themselves, but the entire world as well. The battle for Tartarus begins now. Gameplay. Immortals Fenyx Rising is a lighthearted take on the Greek mythology setting, in which everything in this game is either being mocked, made fun of, or exaggerated to the point of hilarity.
I'm looking for Ares.
I am he!
The story as you progress through your adventure is narrated both by Prometheus and Zeus, as they tell the tale of your travels, and at times offer up a play-by-play of what you're doing, explaining the story in an exposition fashion, cracking a joke about your character being too weak, or about how the Phoenix Firebird got its name, which is actually pretty funny and gave me a good chuckle. In this story, you play as a character named Fenyx, who is tasked by the gods themselves to not only free them from their curse, but to save the land from all Typhon's minions and monsters that terrorize any remaining inhabitants. You're Tartarus's last hope, and should you fail, the world goes with it. No pressure, right? Right from the get-go, you're thrusted into the game and its open-world setting, and you're allowed to go wherever you want. However, you might not get too far since you don't yet have the needed supplies to upgrade your stamina or other abilities just yet. So don't get too carried away now. But this is where the addiction starts to eat at you, much like Breath of the Wild does. Fenyx Rising also gives you the sense of exploration that feels both awe-inspiring and daunting. You know you have to do the story and the narrative the game wants you to follow, but gosh dang it, what the heck is that over there? I want to see! Just let me see! Sorry about that. The funniest shocker I had when experiencing this game in the first few hours was myself being under the assumption that I had already started the game, when in actuality, the first 4 hours of the game served as just the prologue, and then I got to the title screen. The hell?
Wait, that was just the prologue? How does it take someone that long to begin a story?
That's when I knew, oh boy, this game is gonna be massive. And I was not wrong. When I state this game is massive, it's not an exaggeration. In my own opinion, I feel that this is not only Ubisoft's most detailed world they've created so far, but also its most unique. As you push through the game, you will travel across 7 different regions, if you count the early hub area and the final boss section. But those 7 regions are subjected to 4 different actual areas that all have their own unique theme and design based off of a god you must rescue. For instance, one area requires you to save Athena so that she may aid you in your quest. Her area of the game is full of temples and even libraries and books as a theme, and it looks pretty awesome. The same holds true for the other gods as well. All the regions are distinct and are just different enough to warrant at least 1 or 2 wow or cool moments. But enough talking about the scenery. I could make an entire video just based off of the sights to see. Let's say we get into what makes the game truly interesting, its gameplay. Fenyx Rising, at its core when you start your game, feels like it could just be your run-of-the-mill action-adventure game with the use of weak attacks and heavy attacks with your sword and axe. But looks here are definitely deceiving, because the further you get into the game, the more deep the combat tends to get. And this is in large thanks to the plethora of powers you get at your disposal from the gods themselves. These powers range from his wings for flight, a magnesis-like ability that allows you to take control of objects such as rocks and boulders to use in combat or puzzles, Bow of Odysseus that allows you to use arrows in both the traditional sense, but also as homing missiles to find new secrets, solve puzzles, or new ways to annoy your enemy. BAM! The combat in this game can get super quick and fast-paced, and never really gets boring. Whether it's versus a smaller enemy or even a big boss fight, each situation can get tense, so you can never let your guard down. When getting into a situation against 2 to 3 enemies at a time, I knew,
like a midget at a urinal, I was going to have to stay on my toes.
But it's not too frustrating when going against multiple enemies due to the game's lock-on system, which you can use with the right stick to move with ease to enemy at a fast and fluid pace that never takes you out of the action. It's one of the few times where I've actually said, well, by golly, Pa, that sure is some good lock-on system. But easily one of my favorite aspects of the game is actually one of your more defensive skills, parrying. Parrying in this game just feels so satisfying when timed right. If timed right, then any melee attack will be blocked and stopped dead in its tracks, while a projectile from someone on the ground or a monster flying in the sky will get their own attack sent straight back in their face with a big boom. It makes you feel like a total badass when you take on multiple baddies and just parry back and forth between the 2. I know, it's very basic, but it just feels so good to do. Besides stringing together combos using your weak and heavy sword and axe attacks, you also are able to use god powers that I mentioned before to incorporate into your arsenal, should you choose to do so. For instance, while fighting enemies on the ground, you may use your bow to slow motion kill a flying enemy so that you may concentrate on the monsters in front of you on the ground, or using your magnesis-like ability to play a friendly game of catch with the neighborhood monster with a giant boulder to see who wins this epic game of hot potato. But, wait a second. Oh my god, hold up, you say? How do you, even get these god powers to begin with? You don't, just start with them. Ease up there, Barbie. Yes, that is correct. You have to work for your powers, and working for those powers and exploring the world to get them is the biggest aspect in which makes this game absolutely amazing to journey through. As you venture across the land, you're going to find various paths to take, secret caves, and many puzzles to solve. But none of them are more important than vaults. Think of vaults like shrines from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, except to me, more fun and a tad more creative. Each vault you enter, while aesthetically they look similar, they all play relatively different, with each vault offering a different puzzle or reward to be obtained. Some puzzles you encounter ask you to use your wits and requires you to use your magnetic ability to roll boulders into their respective slots to open doors, make use of blocks and crates to hold down pressure plates to reveal a new path, and others will require you to make really tight jumps across platforms, and use your wings to hover via the use of the wind. But the best part of some of the later vaults is the actual difficulty spike that occurs. Some of the harder vaults pits you against multiple enemies, and most of the time not only are they better geared than you, they're way stronger too. These should not be attempted until you go to the Hall of the Gods and upgrade your equipment, stamina, or create potent potions. Only then will you have a chance of surviving the onslaught. So what is the Hall of the Gods exactly? Think of the Hall of the Gods as your upgrade hub. It's here that you can change your character's customization, create potent potions, level up a specific skill, or give yourself a boost of stamina by offering up bolts of Zeus's lightning that you receive as a reward for beating vaults. Upgrading your stamina is absolutely mandatory if you want to keep exploring this vast open world and finding all its secrets and extra powers, because you will be doing a lot of climbing and gliding, and I mean a lot. Once you feel like you're strong enough to continue your adventure, then it's time to set off once more. Okay, let's see. Where to now? Over there? No. Over there? No. Man, it's so hard to pick where to go. Okay, closing my eyes, we'll go this way. Man, gliding is awesome in this game. The world is beautiful. I know I keep getting off topic, but sorry peeps, I'm a sucker for this type of art style and setting. I'll contain myself now. I'll get back to the review. As you climb up every mountaintop you see and use your farsight-like ability to look out into the distance, you will unlock each individual region and see them expand one by one. If you think this looks familiar, then you are absolutely right, because Assassin's Creed uses the same mechanic, only it's not as overdone here in Fenyx Rising as those games, which is a blessing because it makes it feel like an event rather than being a chore. Once you activate your farsight-like ability, you will be able to reveal all the secrets the world has to offer you. These secrets ranging from brand new vaults to find, hidden treasure chests that contain items and gear needed to upgrade your character, new abilities, or new puzzles to solve. The amount of content this game has to offer the player is absolutely absurd, and it's exactly what makes it so hard for someone like me who gets distracted very easily. Oh, animal friend! Ah! Yes, that animal friend can be tamed. That's right, this game even has mounts. I'm telling you, it's never ending. One of the key things to keep in mind in this game is exploration is key to making yourself stronger. If you just push your way through the roughly 15 to 20 hour storyline, you will miss out on more than half of the content this game has in store for you, because there are many other challenges that face you, and more puzzles to be found that you'll miss if you don't take your time and search every corner of the earth to find them, literally. Some secrets will require you to climb up a mountain till you find a cave. Others will require you to climb to the top of a mountain, swim across the ocean to a boat holding a treasure chest, and some of the secrets being locked behind puzzles that you need to solve, which we will dive into shortly in our extra stuff section of the review, as they aren't 100% mandatory to do, so some can be completed after the main story should you miss any. If you're worried about the difficulty of this game, I don't think you will be disappointed. It offers just enough test of skill to make the game enough of a challenge to where it's not overly easy, but it also isn't Souls-like rage-inducing. The biggest challenge I actually ran into during my time with the game never came from its combat, but instead came from some of the dang puzzles that I found. Like legit, some puzzles I came across had me confused for a decent amount of time. But I didn't give up on them because I knew, like a blind man in an orgy, I was going to have to feel things out. Which I of course figured out in the end in true game-and-chick fashion. It was the most basic way to solve the puzzle. Like usual, I overthink everything I do when it comes to puzzle solving, and it always ends up being the easiest and most basic solution. Good job, me. You're the winner. Extra stuff. After completing the main game, you aren't done yet. Not by a long shot, because you still have quite a few challenges left to tackle, which doesn't even take into account the hundreds of landmarks and treasures to find. But I don't want to be here for 50 hours showing where to find them all. I gotta sleep sometime, right? Guys? Right? Oh man. Okay, here we go. Here's the list of my top 100 treasures to find. Number 1. Just kidding. But you know, the real treasures aren't the ones we found in the game, but the memories and love that I share with all of you. Aww. I love you. You love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you sub to Game and Chick 2? Once you've decided you want to keep playing the game, you will have multiple challenges to take up, such as Liar Challenges, which requires you to connect blocks to form a picture-like puzzle. Constellation Challenges, which involves you finding scattered constellation orbs spread out across the nearby area and matching them up with their constellation in order to get to the hidden item, which is usually a power-up or one of Zeus's bolts of lightning to upgrade your skills. And even challenges related to Odysseus that require precision skill with your bow and arrows. There are many more, but you should really experience them all yourself firsthand. They are that good and that addicting. Overall, At the end of the day, the devs at Ubisoft Quebec set their minds at making a game that doesn't take itself too seriously. Instead of the usual doom and gloom, dark and gritty, or overly serious tone, they decided to have fun with it, and it definitely shows. As stated earlier, they take inspiration from movies such as Naked Gun, Airplane, and Princess Bride, and it definitely shows because the game can get very weird and wacky extremely quick, and that's one part of the game that I absolutely adore. But that's not all they got right. From the big open world to explore, mythological beasts and minotaurs to fight, addicting combat that lets you deplete your opponent's stamina bar, and then send them soaring 100 miles per hour far off into the sky, looks like Team Rocket is blasting off again! Fenyx Rising has went from a title that I was looking forward to this year to one of my favorite titles of 2020 altogether. Best of 2020, you say? Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
And with that verdict, Game & Chick says bye now.
As you wish.
Thanks for watching! I really hope you enjoyed that review, and I look forward to bringing more to you in the coming future. For new people, feel free to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like or share, and for people already subscribed, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on any future content uploaded. Also, feel free to click on my other reviews linked above because they're kinda cool too, so give them a look. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all you chickadees on the next one. Queen!